One morning, David came down the stairs, seeing this exact scene. His 17-year-old daughter with a young man, asleep after what must have been a night of hard labor. He very quietly made breakfast, went back upstairs and told his wife, son, and other youngest daughter to be very quiet because people were still asleep. Their dinner table is on the other side of the room, about 20 feet from the couch, but right in front of it. They all sat down and yelled, "Young man!" Never ever has he seen someone wake up and move from horizontal to vertical that fast. "Breakfast is ready," he said with a tone as if he gladly would suck his soul out of his body. He pulled out the chair beside himself. "Sit." The family was silent, staring at their plates, not even twitching. It must have been the hardest 20 feet for a butt-naked youngster to cross. After he put on his clothes, which lay beside the dinner table, he sat down. Youngest son patted him on the shoulder, looked him in the eyes, sighed, and shook his head. By now he was really nervous. They could almost smell it. David said in his best Russian accent, "My friend, I'm going to ask you a question. The answer you give is very important. For you." At this point, he was sweating. "Do you like cats?" He was a very likable and friendly guy, clearly uneducated but not dumb. There was something odd about him. His daughter assured him that he was a very nice and attentive guy. She knew him for about a month by then. He came by every day since that morning. Never stayed overnight though. Every morning he came to pick her up for school on his bicycle, brought her home after, and made sure she did her homework. He looked after her when she was sick and they were at work. He invested time and effort. He had the patience of an angel when she had one of her terrible moods. He said he had no family, no education, no steady job. She adores him. He adores her. After it had been going on for about 8 months, his son came to him. He had been asking around about him. It turns out the guy was homeless. His abusive father ended himself. His mother, a crackhead, took off 3 weeks after that. They lived in a rented trailer. He was 15 then and survived for 3 years on the street, sleeping in parks, at the Salvation Army with friends, cheap hotels. He worked construction jobs. Now there he was. He knew a young man, 18 or 19 years old, who was polite and comes in smiling, who leaves smiling, who cares, who helps, no needs to ask, who makes his child happy. This is a kid who never had a chance to be a kid. Sometimes, when he does not come over because he has a job, they miss him. They are not buddies, but his son gets along with him very well. Youngest daughter trusts him unconditionally, and his wife's motherly instincts seem to have expanded. And David? He sometimes worried for him. He wanted him to be happy. He told his wife and youngest daughter what he learned about him. They cried. He had a hard time telling them. He was disappointed in his oldest daughter. She knew. She should have told us. She loves him and lets him leave every night to go. Where? The next day, he gave him a key of their house. He told him he expected him home every night. In the next few weeks, they fixed a spare room and took him shopping for furniture. He was quite good in making things. He wanted to be his own boss. He liked building things. And they saw to that he got an education which enabled him to do just that. That was in the year 2000. Now, 15 years later, his found son and his daughter have a thriving business. They gave him their 3 beautiful grandchildren last year. Twins, 1 girl, 1 boy. Oftentimes, people would complain about the life that was given to them. For some, a burdened life is nothing but a barren land. However, while some are close to giving up, there are also a handful who are willing to stand up regardless of the times they stumble and fall. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to Inspire Ripples for more stories.